What up? Welcome to Homegrown Hustle, where local brilliance takes the center stage. I'm your host, Matt Eickman. Together, we're about to embark on an inspiring journey. Our community thrives on the wisdom of insightful leaders that are right here in our backyard. And we're bringing their expertise to your ears. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or simply seeking inspiration, this podcast is your guide. Join us every week in celebrating innovation, guidance, and the power to inspire greatness. Let's explore the stories that shape our local business landscape, and together, let's ignite the spark of excellence. What's up, hustlers? Matt Eickman here. I'm here with Peter Follesé today. He's got an office up in Forest Lake, kind of near ours, but he's from just down the block from the studio here in Minneapolis. So he's got a pretty large insurance company that he's worked in for quite a while, pretty large customer base on both commercial and residential. So can have a pretty deep conversation on either one of those. But before we dive into all the fun stuff of insurance and pest control and all that, let's learn a little bit about Pete, a little bit about what's got him to where he's at. And go ahead and just introduce yourself here this morning, Pete.
Cool. Yeah, Pete Follesé, National Insurance Brokers. I am from Forest Lake, but yeah, I just live now over on Dayton Avenue, over in Miriam Park, St. Paul. It's a great community. Yeah, I have been in insurance for 11 years or 12 years, something like that, and bought the business in 2018. It became the sole owner in 2023, and I love to hustle, and I love to sell insurance, and I love to lead a team.
So do you love insurance?
I do, because it's a broken system and I can fix it.
Well, we'll dive into that. Yeah. But before we do all that, let's just kick it off with a rapid fire round here.
Cool.
We got 7 or 8 questions, whatever comes into your mind right off the bat. Just go with it.
Okay.
All right. What's in an insurance slogan you'd never use?
That I would never use?
Never use.
Man, I have good ones that I would use. Your insurance isn't a maintenance program. I would not use that.
All right. What's a client story that still makes you laugh?
We have a client that's not a client anymore that used to walk up into the Forest Lake office on a regular basis and would drop off one of our producers, just random shit from his farm. He would drop off a bag of onions, a wooden putter, you name it, he would bring it in. Just an old collector guy. But I won't say his name, but if Nick listens to this podcast, Nick will know exactly what we're talking about.
So what's more stressful, home, auto, or commercial insurance?
I would say property insurance in general. So home and commercial property, okay. I think it's the same.
Follow-up question, why?
Rates are going up. Everybody knows it. Everybody feels it. The insurance companies feel it. The consumer feels it.
What's one thing you're still learning?
How to be a leader and how to be consistent and how to listen a little bit more.
All right. How do you celebrate a win?
I like to go play golf, and I will make like a really good meal or go, get oysters, but I love to go play golf.
I love oysters. Do you ever do the fried oysters?
I do fried oysters every now and then, but I like to slurp them down. I don't mess with those
kind of oysters. Let's not talk about oysters.
Okay.
So how much golf do you play?
Like way too much. I've played like 7 days in a row. I'm not playing today. I'm playing tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's fine. What's the weirdest thing someone's tried to insure?
Oh, this isn't like our customer at all, but I've listened to enough things. Like there's a ton of celebrities that have insured body parts. So Gene Simmons insured his tongue, which is a pretty wild thing to think about.
That's a unique one. Yeah. What's your go-to question in a first meeting?
What can I do for you? Like, what do you expect out of us?
All right. Nailed it. Way to go. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your path to becoming a business owner. It sounds like there was some type of plan that went into it and you kind of worked to it over time. Could you talk a little bit about like what your journey's been like? Did you always know you were going to run your own business?
Yeah.
Tell us about that evolution for Pete.
Okay. No, I did not know I was going to own my own business. I did come from a family of small business owners. My dad owned a small business. My mom owned a small business. But so my uncle, actually he's technically my third cousin. His name's Jason Richmond. He owned an insurance agency. And at the time I was a bartender, and he was just kind of in my ear a little bit about, hey, you should try this thing out. And he just pestered me enough, and I got fed up one time bartending, and I got into insurance that way. I don't think
Have you
anybody.
ever sold anything before?
No, besides drinks.
Okay. But like those kind of sell themselves, right? Like that's what they're coming there for. It's just like how many are they going to have? So before we went live here, you said that they told you were a sales guy.
Yeah.
But you never sold anything.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you think he really meant?
Well, they were just consistent by saying like, hey, you've got the most receipts every night at the bar. You know, like nobody sells more than you do. And it's like, well, it should be the same as everybody else. We're all serving the same amount of customers. But I realized I could figure out people and understand how to talk to people and figure out like who wants more, who can I get a 2-for-1 for, who wants to go get another round, who wants to.
How do you make it more dollars?
Yeah, how do you make more dollars and how do you make somebody have a better time? You know, like that was for me. That was what it was all about. Like I wanted, if you were coming out to eat and spending money, I was like, let's make this a fucking great time.
All right. So how did you kind of apply that? Let's get more drinks in these people approach into sales, like right off the bat. Did you just nail it from Jump Street?
No, I mean,
Okay.
but I mean, like I've learned how to talk to people. But I think the closing of the insurance product was tough for me because I didn't understand the product well enough. But like people liked working with me just because I'd appeal to the people. I'd be like, I'd call them back and be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to figure this out for you. And I think people appreciated my conviction because I want,
authentic with it, right? Not trying to like be somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
And that works.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It is weird.
Weird. But we work on all these processes and everything, but really it sounds like you're just trying to take care of whoever that was and do the best you can at work.
Yeah.
And so you have success, you start making sales because you're authentic as hell and you endear yourself to people. But when did the like path to, hey, you can own a company that has people that do what you're doing right now? Like when did you start to see that?
I would say like probably like 2015. So 2-3 years into the business, I had started like building up like a small client base for myself. And then there was at the office that I worked at, there was just a ton of like animosity and just like BS, like just people don't like being there.
Drama.
And I was, work drama. And I was just like, all right, I don't want to do this like this. I want to do it differently. So, and I also don't like going to Plymouth every day. I was going from Forest Lake to Plymouth every day. So I built my book and then I was like, hey, can I buy my book out and just go up to Forest Lake? I don't want to be a part of this community. I kind of want to do my own thing. So I did that. And then a year later, the owner is like, hey, do you want to just buy out the whole thing? And I was like,
Oh, hell yeah.
I was actually like, no.
Really?
Yeah, well, because he had 50 people in the Plymouth office, and then there were 25 offices around the state. So it was way bigger. And I was like, I'll buy the ones around the state. I don't want the main one.
What was the thought process behind that?
I thought there was way too much broken culture. And also, I was like
Ooh.
26 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a kid.
So, like, what's the path from 26-year-old Pete to now?
Well, I mean, I bought that. So I took my book and then bought those small books out. And then Northwest Partners bought the main book. And then it was basically like I had one person in my office. So I hired a couple other people. I hired my managing director, Ellie Ridley. She's like the number one person at our office right now. And like got her involved, got a few other people involved, brought them in and just kind of started to create culture of like work hard, you know, have fun type of vibe. And I think that's kind of what's been taking off. And then I realized throughout that whole process, I was creating absolute amount of chaos. So now we're in the world of getting into EOS.
So creating some structure and all that. So you're building that culture and you've scaled it way past just having one person in your office.
Yes.
And pretty quickly, too, it sounds like. You didn't just buy a book of business and take it over. It sounds like you've gone through the acquisition, sale, like you've been part of multiple transactions there. Are there any like key takeaways that you've learned through going through those deals that maybe in hindsight you would have wished you knew earlier?
Yeah, I guess that you don't really realize what you sign up for until you've actually signed the dotted line some of the times. And like the level of ownership and the level of responsibility, you're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm doing all the same work. Like nothing's really changed that much, but it's like just elevates, you know, to an extent. And just paying attention to some of the stuff a little bit more intently, and just like trying to visualize like, hey, this is what it's actually going to be like.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just used to like running my life kind of a certain way that was pretty free, flexible. I didn't really have to do much for anybody. I just kind of took care of my own shit and it was fine. But then, yeah, I think that if I had a lot more responsibility that I had to like get people to do and, you know, like delegate the tasks out and kind of didn't realize how much extra work I had.
So, and it, like it's not a franchise or anything like that, right? You've had to build all the structures and processes and everything as you're going through that.
Yep.
So with that, like when we're talking sales, you have like an elevator pitch that like you kind of train people on, or
we
like,
literally are talking about that right now. How like I have an elevator pitch, but nobody else does.
What's the elevator pitch?
Well, just the elevator pitch is just really simple. Like insurance is a broken commodity. Let me consult you. That's pretty much it. Like you've got an insurance product. You don't like it. I promise you, nobody likes their insurance. I'm here to tell you if it's good, bad, or shitty.
Why does everyone hate insurance? Is it because they make you do it?
I mean, it's a necessary evil.
It is.
It's literally a necessary evil.
It's tough right now, especially on the commercial side. The pricing, we've seen huge jumps. Also on the residential, like it's kind of been flipped on its head. So what's your take on everything that's going on right now? What are the types of conversations that you're having with portfolio managers or owners?
You know, it's been a lot of advisement and just like giving them a heads up of like, hey, this is coming down the pipeline with rate increases, coverage reductions, and then trying to strategize around it. So like if you've got, you know, like we were talking about before, like if you're dialed in on your properties and you've got, you know how old your roof is, you know when the last time an electrician was out there, you know if you've got an alarm system, people like that.
Like just what's going on.
Yeah. Like just if
really?
you've been to your property and you know what's up. Like you can, if I called you up, you could tell me everything about your property. That's a good sign.
You got like a spreadsheet.
Yes.
Like spreadsheet. So talk a little bit about that. Like because people are checking rates, they're shopping around because there's been massive hikes and that impacts not only their business of that asset, that property, but also whoever they're renting it to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about like what are the things that you want to see and that help you keep the price at as low as possible? Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I said, you know, people that are accountable to their properties, they've got a spreadsheet that tells us like the year built. They know the square footage. They know the landlord or the tenants. They know that they've got a copy of a lease. You know, it's shocking people don't have copies of leases. But, you know, things like that, understanding their rent roll. Like if I go
just
to you,
being organized
and showing that you care about your property, that can get sold to an underwriter pretty well. And then now there's a one company out there right now where we've got a unique product with a 3-year term. So like if you qualify for it, you got to have kind of these boxes checked.
What are the boxes?
You got to have your shit in order.
Like you got to have documentation.
Have documentation.
Why does that matter?
Because we want to be able to have backup and proof to know like somebody actually went out here and took a look at it, because there's so many people that own things and don't look at it. Being in the pest control, you know that. You know, like you own something and when's the last time somebody went out to the property? Never, you know? And so oh yeah, of course I replaced the roof in 2013. Okay, did you though? And then like, have you seen it since then? Do you know what's happened? Did a tree fall on it? I have no idea. Do you?
Well, and also like, you're going out there or you're getting reports to you, but what do you do with it after too? Like if for instance, like if you're getting informed from roof inspector or your pest control company, like, hey, these things are happening and it hasn't changed in 2 years or something like that. Now, if information is getting brought to you and changes aren't being made, what's that indicate to you
That's
that a red flag?
That's a no. That means we aren't going to want to work with you. But yeah, it's like, well, like, so one thing that's kind of unique actually in the home world. So like, there's a lot of people that have like nicer homes with wood cedar shakes. Mm-hmm. There's not a single insurance company out there that's willing to take on cedar shakes almost at this point. So
why?
Because they are like the number one claim out there, and they're like super expensive. No, hail, like you get a mark on them just like that, and they have to replace the whole thing. But cedar shakes look good. Everybody knows that.
But home inspectors are out there trying to find one mark.
Totally. And then we're going to have a claim on it. So a buddy of mine actually is with his construction company, Classic Construction, is doing this preventative maintenance program where they're actually going out and inspecting these roofs and making sure that they are up to snuff. That way the insurance company's like, hey, we know somebody's out there quarterly or monthly or whatever it is. So yeah, we feel good insuring this wood roof because we know we got eyes on it.
I mean, we built a similar program like that for like pest and wildlife assessment on the commercial side.
Yeah.
Haven't thought about applying it to residential, but
yeah, I mean, there are some pests in some nice houses, and
there's pests in every house, bro. But like, all right, so let's talk about this. Like, is pest control covered under most homeowners policies?
Pest control,
like,
itself,
or pest issue, like a pest issue.
Pest damage, it can cover it, but I won't say it will cover it. It depends on what like type of form you've got on your policy.
What about on the commercial side?
Same type of deal. If you got special form, you're covered. But if you got a basic form policy with ACV coverage, there's probably an exclusion in there that says no for just about everything except for fire.
So if you go for like the Cadillac,
if you go for just like a decent policy,
it's a maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like we can do it for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what pest control is, and any type of preventative maintenance is. It's like there's going to be a spend for this at some point. Are we going to have a spend and funds going out in a proactive manner to prevent chaos, or are we going to have all the funds be spent when the chaos happens and have to deal with the time and excess costs at that point? It's like, how do you distribute it? And we found through preventing things, it costs a lot less.
Yeah.
And you're more informed.
Life's just easier if you're proactive with your insurance, with your pest control, with every form of your life.
Is that something you had to learn in insurance, or did you grow? Like, I mean, being around small business owners as a kid, like you kind of get to see that thought process. Did you learn it from somebody, or
no? I think I've been learning.
You just applied insurance to your life. And
yeah.
Look at that. Look at you now.
I know, right? I've been reading a lot of books.
It's good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book right now?
The 7 Habits of Effective People. Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a really good book.
So is business kind of chaos right now with all of the increases? Like, how did the market respond when these rates just start jumping across the board and it's in the news and it's all these different things? Like, what was the immediate response?
Pretty negative.
Like, it's your fault too. Like, why did you increase these rates?
Yeah, it's pretty negative response, I think, across the board. Nobody wants to pay more for something that it's the same as their product last year, and there's companies that are even reducing coverage and still adding more cost. But educating people has been huge, and just coaching people on like, hey, this is what's going on. Here's the things that you can do. Here's the things you have in your arsenal and that we can help you out.
So like I know on the residential side, like roof claims and things like that, some of those are getting like special, like they're itemized out and handled kind of separately from the overall homeowner's policy.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that on the commercial side too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's across the board.
That's gnarly.
It is. It's super gnarly. It's wild. Yeah. Like there's an exclusion for like just about all sorts of things, like cosmetic exclusions. There's non-matching exclusions. There's metal exclusions. It's just wild.
Pest control still a maybe.
Maybe.
So how are you thinking about like growing your business, and then like who are you thinking about as the clients that are ideal to grow your business? Because you have to grow your team, and for your team to grow and be sustainable, you need more customers coming in too.
Yeah.
So kind of that topic, I guess.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I probably could have delivered this one better.
No, you're good. You're good. So I would say our preferred customer base is somebody that actually like wants a consulting, relationship. It's somebody that's
free.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Just like you actually want to listen to what we have to say and not talk to us like we're a commodity and it's just a number and a calculator and here's your rate, because that's not what it is. That's what like 99% of the world treats it as, I'd say. So we're just trying to coach people into the service base versus the commodity base, and it works the same way with my team too. I'm trying to build them up the exact same way, because some of them that they want to sell on price just because like price is sexy, everybody knows it, but it's like, well, is it sexy when you're not getting a phone call back? Is it sexy when your claim gets denied? Is it sexy when there's an exclusion you forgot to read about? It's just like, take the 30 minutes to talk about your damn insurance. Nobody wants to do it. Let's make it as sexy as possible. And then, go for it.
Because, ignoring it's not going to make it go away.
Nope.
And really the price increase, it probably just is forcing more people to think about it and have more conversations.
Yeah.
And so you're scaling your team and you're talking about, what are you talking about with them right now, I guess? Like, how are you telling them this is how we best serve our customers, whether it's current customer or new ones coming in? Like, what's the messaging given the state?
White glove service at all costs. So just like coach people through every component of life that they got going on with their insurance world. Like most people, like their home insurance renews goes up 40%, and they're like, what do I do? Well, you've got a $500 deductible on your home. Do you have $2,500? Sure, let's bump it up to $2,500. Wow, your premium just dropped. Hey, did you pay off a credit card and your credit score went down? Or
So
your
there's like levers you can pull that can impact it. It's not like, this is it. I have to go talk to another company. Like it can be same policy, just
correct,
structured differently.
Yeah.
So your team, you're 50-50 residential and commercial. Is your team trained with like specific focus, or are you training like any customer, whether residential or on the commercial side? Like we handle it all.
We handle it all, and then it's different content for different sides of the fence. But like, I'm sure you own some commercial property, don't you? So you're one that would kind of cross over. You've got your personal insurance, and then you've got your commercial insurance. So we got to be able to talk to you on both fronts, because it's a similar conversation, but it's just a little different content. So
for sure, What's like? Are you seeing people on the commercial side manage their commercial property like their residents, and now they're like setting it up for failure or mismanaging it?
Yeah, that happens on a regular basis.
So how should they think about managing the commercial side versus the personal? Well,
I think that hire a pest control company.
That's the right answer.
No, but do like the preventative maintenance type of stuff. Get like that's a huge thing. Get somebody to come like regularly look at your boiler. Have somebody regularly come look at every component of your place. Don't just check the box.
Don't wait for it to break and then call me.
Yeah,
because you said people are treating it like a
maintenance program. Yeah. Don't treat your insurance like a maintenance program.
Don't do that.
Correct.
So what does don't doing that look like? Just
having
anything that can break. Like, do you have a list of things that like, hey, these are the things that can break, and you're gonna think about calling me? But
think of just your tradespeople. Like wildlife, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. You know how they have like the spring tune-ups for your HVAC guy that wants to come out for like $35, and then they're like, oh yeah, we found this problem. Here's an extra $400. It's that kind of stuff. But it's like that preventative maintenance stuff just goes a long, long, long way. Yeah, all your professionals.
Somebody should do the math and like play it out. Like,
that
would be a good case study.
That would be a good case study.
We're not planning on rolling out any new initiatives at Abracadabra, but it's a great idea for you guys. So if you could look in your crystal ball in the next 12 to 24 months, like what can people start to think about and maybe plan for that could be a shift? Like, is it going to just keep going and maybe even jump more once we hit next year? Like,
I think the next 18 months are going to be rocky still. but I think 2 years out from now, I think the market will have stabilized. I mean, this has been going on. Each insurance company's been doing it at their own rate too. So like one of our companies, Cincinnati, they started doing this in like 2020. They started with the heavy rate increases, but they're like flat now and almost starting to decrease. Well, like Travelers this year is like looking at like a 200% increase. And then they're already predicting their rate for next year. And you're just like, damn, so like they're more, so it's kind of the same scenario for the insurance companies. The ones that were proactive are starting to reap the benefits of, of being in the market in the right spot. But yeah, versus the ones that are reactive are like, oh shit.
I think that's the moral of the story today.
Everything in your life. We're an insurance company, everything. Be proactive.
So now as a leader, I mean, you're a young guy. You say you don't have any kids. You got a couple fur babies. You're still growing your business, right? So what's 2 years down the line look like for you? Like, where do you see your business going?
I'm hoping that we're going to double in size in 2 years, actually.
Savage.
Yeah, and I know, right? And then I'm hoping to have a couple offices in a couple other states. Right now, we have 15 locations in Minnesota, but I'd love to get into Arizona. I want to go play golf in the winter.
Well, I mean,
there's a great market down there for insurance, and the rates are not doing the same thing down there.
And there's crossover too for people that have multiple homes and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many customers that have homes in Arizona or Florida, or sometimes Texas, like those three areas. And then they've got their like part-time house up here too. Like so many. So I can see really easy like cross-sell overlap there for growth. Yeah. What's that mean for your team then? Because like as you're doing all this, like you're creating new opportunities for people and you're building them. So like, tell me like how you're continuing to attract people that like want to be part of that to serve your customers that are going through this chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's one of the hardest things. I'm sure it's hard for you guys too. Attracting talent's like the number one.
We've tried to reverse engineer it a little bit when it comes to culture, like so that people who aren't happy, they're like, we're the thing that they see and they're like, dang, I wish like maybe the grass is greener type of thing. And it's not the right fit for everybody, but to your point earlier, like when you have culture and being the entrepreneur, you get to define what that is if you're putting the thought behind it.
Yeah.
I like how you flipped that one around on me.
Yeah.
So I just answered your question for you. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, that is literally exactly how I feel about it.
But it truly is, man. Like the culture there, especially as you grow, like it can get out of hand. Did you ever run into like having to pull it back in? And can you talk a little bit about that and what you maybe could have learned through that?
Yeah, so 2018 was when I started, and then 2023 was when I was the full owner. And during that time, I had so in 2018 I had 25 offices. We're down to 15. That's strategic. And it was just finding that like there were people that were just not willing to participate in the culture more than anything. And it was like, they're good people. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with us. It was just like, we had this thing, we're creating change, we're going in this direction. And they're just like,
they weren't on board.
No, they were not on board. And it's like, well, I don't want to make you go this way. So we just sold them off. Yeah. It worked out well.
Sounds pretty savage right there.
I mean, it worked out. I think
it's probably best for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. Like, I think like when I came up with the idea, I was like, oh, I'm a dick by doing this. But then I think after going through a couple of them, I was like, holy shit, this is good for you guys and us. Like, we're both thrilled about it. Like, all parties involved were just jazzed. So
that's like best case scenario.
Totally.
So
it was like going through a breakup, but you're like, it had to happen.
And you had to do it like 10 times.
Yeah, we had to do it a few times, but now we've got a good culture.
So with your growing customer base and your team, like, are you like focusing on certain areas, or like what's the scale process look like? Are we going to get back to 25?
We will get back to 25, but it's going to be a little more strategic.
Tell me about the strategery.
Well, I want to be able to get into communities where people like want to be a part of the community. So like, that's one thing I like about Forest Lake. We really just dove into the community there. Like I'm on the board of directors for the Forest Lake Chamber. We're in every chamber event, which you guys are a lot of them too. Yeah, I just think that like being a part of the community, like it just creates like a way more organic way to grow naturally just within, and it's like it's a healthier process for that community, and then it's a healthier process for us to grow. So finding the right communities more than the right people, and then getting the right people to fit in that community.
And then like from a service standpoint, it becomes easier for you to take care of your customers there, right?
Yeah.
So it's better for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar type of logic for how we've grown. Like when people have an issue, especially, it might not just be Midwest, but maybe it is, like people want to kind of sort of know who it is and know that they're close, and it's not just entity out there, right? They want to know the human part, and they really get behind supporting locals. So is that type of strategy is freaking smart.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Way to go.
Yeah, you too.
What else you got up your sleeve?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think that's like the biggest part of our growth strategy. And then being strategic with the customers that we're partnering with too. Like I said, we're trying to get it more consultative basis, treat it more like a service, not a commodity. And then so the people that treat it like a service, they're going to be like able to send us more people that want it to be treated like a service as well. And it just makes for easier growth too there, because like, you know, if it's a commodity, people are like, well, I'll give you this part. I'll give you this part. And it's like, dude, I don't care if you got 35 homes. Like, I'm going to either all work in with you or not. Like, I don't want this policy and that policy and that policy.
It's
I'm
so much more time.
Well, it's a disservice, you know? So, yeah.
Why do people do that?
I think because they don't know any better. And they just are like, they're holding their cards up. And it's like, let your cards down and I can help you.
It's the same playbook for pest control, though. Like when we're talking about 100 properties in a portfolio, you want to talk about this 100 times.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't move the needle for your business. That makes pest control cost way more.
Yeah.
Or insurance costs way more.
Totally.
When you get to have it at a high level, it like you're running a business. So look at it that way.
Totally.
But they get hit up for people selling them stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like a built-in.
Yeah.
Like, just ignore everybody.
Ignore the commodities.
For my tenants. Yeah. Ignore the commodities. So how do you decommoditize yourself?
I mean, strictly by talking about like having that conversation, like talking about like what your product is and like understanding what the customer wants. That's why like part of my question that I ask everybody is like, what can I do for you? What's your expectation of me? Because that way I can deliver, you know, like if you just go, I need quote. Well, I give quote, and then you're like, okay, well, here you go. It's like, why didn't it land?
Because really, your product isn't the policy. That's the solution.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Your product is your team and that whole relationship.
Totally.
And ability to navigate it towards a yes.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with how I just said that. I like that.
That was solid.
So if you want to look into the camera and talk to anybody that might be listening, that could be a customer of yours, if they just hear this little pitch you're about to give them.
Okay.
Tell them why they should reach out to you and you should help them with their policies.
Yeah. I mean, we want to help out people that want to understand their insurance and then trust somebody to be able to manage it for them. So if you want to get a consultation on your insurance and you don't want to have to worry about your insurance, we're the people that you want to talk to, whether it's commercial properties, your home, your auto, your business. We do all sorts of different things. And like I said, that 3-year term policy is a very unique thing in the market that's brand new. And
did you come up with it?
I didn't come up with it. I'm their number one seller, though. All
right. So talk a little bit specifically about that, just if it's so new and it's not mainstream yet.
Yeah, it's not mainstream. Yeah, I mean, like most people have a year-to-year policy. You know, you have to renew every single year. But yeah, this insurance company that locked in the rates for 3 years on specified.
Sounds like a good deal.
It's awesome because then you don't have to worry about your rate increase for 3 whole years. And if you're a property manager, you don't have to deal with the renewal for 3 years.
Well, it's probably not going to go down.
It's not going down.
No.
Yeah.
So you're hedging against that and giving yourself more time.
Yeah.
Is there any room for it to come down during that period if they're doing these other things and showing more improvements?
No, you're locking yourself into a rate. Yeah.
But sounds like more upside here. All right. So if people do want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you or a member of your team?
763-398-4040 is our main line. And then you guys can check us out at mynationalbroker.com. And I think we've got a button for an inquiry. I think it says like, do you want an insurance consultation? It doesn't say get a quote. We don't do that.
And is the consult on the phone, in person?
We'll schedule a time and we'll do it either in person. We can do a Teams call, whatever works best for people. White glove service.
Do people want speed in this scenario? Because want quote. Ideally we have more of a conversation than that.
Correct.
Right? But is the customer thinking about that when they?
That's part of the consultation is to get them away from the concept of speed. Like if your homeowner's renewal is tomorrow, I'm going to say renew it. Yeah. And then we can go talk and figure out a thing for a month out. You know, like we don't want to rush anything. We want to be able to help you understand what the product is, put it through the underwriting process, let the team be able to make sure they can make a good, diligent effort and put out a good product for you. You know, don't rush it. Be proactive.
Yeah, for sure. One last question. What's the word hustle mean to you?
Oh man, just relentless energy and just keep going.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Just like your golf game. It just keeps going, right?
Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, man. It's awesome to see you scaling your business and still have like big goals like that. Creating those opportunities for people to be part of healthy cultures, I think is really powerful. And I love seeing like our generation building those type of businesses. So thanks for joining us, everybody. If you've got some properties, reach out to my man Pete. Knows what he's talking about, obviously. Thanks for all the likes, comments, and shares. Keep it coming. If there's anybody you think would be a good guest, bring a lot of value to the conversation, feel free to send them our way. Until next time, guys, keep hustling.
Are you dealing with pest or wildlife issues on your property? Call us at 763-328-0156 or scan the QR code to learn more.
Thanks again for joining us on Homegrown Hustle. Our local business community thrives because of the brilliant leaders right here in our backyard. And it's been an absolute privilege to provide them with a platform to share their invaluable expertise. Stay tuned for more insight, wisdom, and inspiration from our local business champions. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Together, we'll continue to nurture and expand our homegrown success stories. Matt Eickman signing off until our next insightful episode.